7:30 a.m. on Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, and it's 25 degrees warmer now than it was 24 hours ago. Yet it's not dripping because yesterday it was 10 below and right now it's about 15 above. And for the moment, there's no wind. And we've got sunlight at the top of the Mount Mansfield at this very moment. Blue sky, get some altocumulus streaks. It did snow a feather dusting last night, and snow is expected today, so it is going to be day 64 in a row with snow somewhere in New England. And it's going to be the last day of pure winter skiing because it is going to rain tomorrow. But let's start with this morning's sunrise, rather unique trifecta on the regional temperature map. 29 degrees on Nantucket Island, in Boston, and Burlington, Vermont, all at the same time. There's a serious warm front coming through New England. Single digits in Maine, and Saranac Lake at 25 is about 45 degrees warmer than it was yesterday, somewhere in there. So yeah, a warm front for sure. And boy, is that a massive storm in the middle of the nation. The radar depiction there, it's got tentacles stretching from Canada down to Texas. Severe weather outbreak happening now, Oklahoma and Texas, tornado watches and warnings. And on the northwest side of it, if we switch over to advisories, watches, and warnings, dual blizzard warnings today. One, it looks like near Iowa on the cold side, another one decaying now in Colorado and Nebraska. So this has wide tentacles. It's a massive web of power with the central pressure on that storm in the low 980s. All those other blizzards that we talked about over the winter, the central pressure was somewhere around 1018. So those were more driven by high pressure than low pressure. But this is a huge low pressure system, and there's no stopping the warm air from coming at New England. So we're going to be dripping tomorrow, but we're going to be skiing this morning. The snow report said they used the winch cat last night. The winch cat for the steepest slopes, that's where you have to tie a cable to a post, a very strong iron post at the tops of the trails. And the winch cat was used on lift line and center line and hayride. So some great groomers this morning. We did go up to the top yesterday. T-Rex with some tremendous views, and I made a lot of new friends. T-Rex, come on, this way. Rex, come this way. Good boy. You dare me to try and knock down one of these? They probably don't want me to do this, but Rex is over there. He's safe. What happens? So when these things start to fall, they are going to make sure that there's no one underneath them. Rex, you want to go down here and see how deep the snow is? So we're going skiing this morning, as usual, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Looks like they've shoveled these stairs a couple of times. T-Rex blazing a trail right here. Good boy. So the snow depth up top is in the order of feet. So Rex, slow down. But down here, it's much less deep and very fluffy. So the snow is so fluffy it can absorb a lot of the rainfall. So not expecting huge flooding around here. And we'll time out all the precipitation and such in the storm incoming and outgoing, and another cold, windy Friday in the forecast. And the weekend looks interesting. I think I might wait for the morning guidance to confirm that. Look at those tracks right there, T-Rex. Think you can go over that? All right. We'll see you later. Getting on the ski slope. See you sooner. Immediately even. Immediately is close to 5 hours later. It's noontime, and I'm online having this fun dialogue with Matthew Johnson, meteorologist at KSL5 TV in Utah. And he's got that pinned tweet from years ago of Kelvin Helmholtz clouds in Utah. And he's talking about the snow forecast in Utah, going for Alta another 38. And here's how much snow they've had in the last 36. Alta's had 20. Where are you? Weller family, Carl and Donna, missed you this morning. Oh, in Utah? Did you pick the right time to go to Utah? We are handing the snow baton off to you in Utah and the Western resorts as we are on the last hours of our streak of 64 days in a row with nothing but snow at the summits of our mountains here in Vermont and most of New England and the east, from Lake Placid all the way up in Ontario and Quebec. It is actually going to rain up there for the first time since the morning of December 31st. Oh, what a run it's been. It's pretty straightforward what's going to happen over the next 36 hours, but after that, all guesses are on. Any bet is off on what's going to happen here after this warm storm comes through here after Friday. Can't trust any of the guidance. So let's get to it. Let's look at the conditions. I showed the earlier sunrise temperatures, and then I got these temperatures about 11 o'clock this morning. We're up into the 40s in southern New England. Wind from the south is picking up in the 30s in northern New England, and we have gone to about freezing here at the base of Mount Mansfield. And I took a quick glimpse at the Mount Washington profile there before noon, and it was already up to 37 degrees at was about 2,300 feet. So it's going to be a layer cake of the atmosphere, and it is still cold enough for a little snow possible with the initial burst of precipitation coming in this afternoon. And for that, we're going to turn to the 3-kilometer NAM. And there is the rain and snow coming at the northeast this afternoon between, say, 2 and 4. Rain in the Route 100 villages, but snow up above probably about 2,000 feet or so, pretty much right where we are right here. And that's a little burst that goes by, lifts into Maine. Then there's going to be another burst coming through a little bit late tonight. So that's a warm front and then a warmer front. And then tomorrow, the rain snow line is in central and northern Maine. So it's still technically snowing in parts of New England tomorrow. And then even there, here comes the rain, and it's a solid batch of rain coming in and wind tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And it's going to pour, and the temperature is probably going to be in the low 40s around where I am in the mountains, otherwise in the 50s, maybe even 60, and winds are going to gust 50 to 60, and that rain comes through, probably 1 to 3 inches of rain before that pushes off on Thursday morning. And then Thursday, it's probably going to be fairly tranquil. Fog, some drizzle around here with a bagginess in the isobars before the wind picks up from the northwest late Thursday. And then you get to Thursday evening, and there's some snow off to the west and to the north, so some upslope snow is probably going to come back Thursday night and Friday. But this is definitely a net loss of snow in our mountains for the first time this year. So how much QPF, quantitative precipitation, if it were all rain, this would be? Here it comes. The light blue to dark blue is 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Then the light violet to the more purple is 1/2 to 1 inch. Then the darker purple, and it starts to get almost yellow. That's 1 to 4 inches. And it looks like some of the mountains, especially upslope around the Presidentials and the White Mountains, may get 2 to 3 inches of rain. So that's a lot of rain in a short time. I didn't think we were capable of that, but this is the NAM, and the NAM can overdo these things. But a lot of us may get 2 inches of rain, especially on the south and east side of the mountains. Remember, upslope is from the south and the east when these storms drive up to your west. And this is a powerhouse storm. It is no slacker. It is about as strong as they get in the middle of the nation. And let's go to the wind now. Wind is air moving from high to low. The low goes to your north, so the air comes in from the south, and you get into these purple in the wind department. I hope I have these colors right. The purple gets up past 30 miles per hour. And these are treetop gusts here. So tops of mountains and ocean front and lakes and wherever you can get away from the friction of the hills, funneling up the valleys. And then you get into the red now. Red winds are gusting close to 50 miles an hour. And then you get into the yellow, gold, and even mustard, or yellow, mustard, and gold there across Buzzards Bay and into the coast of Maine. This is tomorrow night, gusting 50 to 60, perhaps greater than 60 miles an hour. That real dark gold there is more like 70 to 75 miles an hour, and I think this is probably a little overdone also. But we may have some power outages due to trees coming down. And in any thunderstorms, there may be a thunderstorm. You can also get a wind gust past those 60, 70 miles an hour. Those thunderstorms out in the Midwest, not the Midwest, the Deep South have been generating winds of 85 to 90 miles an hour. And there is a severe weather outbreak ongoing with this system. I think I already showed you earlier the watches, advisories, and warnings with the severe weather and tornado threat and the blizzard conditions on the west side of the storm. Let's see. I did the P-type, and I did the QPF, and I did the wind. So I guess now, you know what? It's starting to snow. I see a couple of snowflakes around here. Let's do an update on the snowpack. Josh Worth is out there in getting the backcountry at Jay Peak, where the sun was out this morning. And Josh and Sean, Beck, and all my friends at Jay are monitoring the snow depth, and they're talking about history making snow depths. And he says the snow, Josh said this morning, the snow is about 18 inches deeper, the snowpack, than any time he's seen it this century. When he moved here, 1999, 2000, we had some rivaling snow depths. So there have been winters where it has snowed more, but we haven't had really winters where it snowed so much, but there was no rain or thaw in the high country for so long into the year, 64 days, and that is the case this year. So an exceptional year underway. And that orange marker, he says right there, he made that marker at his shoulder height when it was the deepest. Was that 2000, Sean? And now it's at his waist. So that's where he gets his data. That's one of those historic levels. You know how if there's a flood, you put a marker on the side of the building how high the flood was? Well, he does that with the snow. And thank you very much, Josh, for that data. All right, yeah, you can see the visibility coming down. Now I got my wireless on, so when I zoom in, I'm not going to change my audio, but it is snowing at the summit of Mount Mansfield right here at about, it's 12:15. And also we have snow and ice falling off the roof. And there's going to be a lot of snow and ice falling off roofs anywhere. Eric in north of Concord, New Hampshire, so happy to hear that the ice has cleared out from your gutters. But anywhere up here in the north, we have so much snow and ice on our roof. That's going to be issues here. Not to mention some of our rivers where ice breaks up. There may be some river flooding, but the thaw, where it goes above freezing, is probably only about 24 hours, maybe a little longer. Yep, definitely starting to snow here. Let me zoom in one more time, see the flakes. All right, so now let's go to the GFS. I waited for the GFS to come in this morning. I know yesterday there was a big tease with a storm coming right along the south coast of New England for Sunday. Well, that was only one run out of the last about 6 or so. And by the way, the Euro had a storm for us on Sunday also from about 4 days ago. And that's when I said, I'm not going to the Euro. I'm going to use the GFS. And the GFS certainly changed since yesterday. It changes every 6 hours. We get a run every 6 hours. So here is this morning's. It's called the 12Z run, and it initiates at about 7 a.m., but you don't get the complete picture till about just now, about noontime. So go forward, and there is our storm driving up to our west with the mixed precipitation here in northern New England. There'll be a lull tomorrow morning. It's not pouring, but then tomorrow afternoon it is pouring. There could be some thunderstorms. We're going to have wind damage. We're going to have deep puddles and deep mud up around here. It is going to be rough traveling in the high country tomorrow for sure due to mud and slush. And then we get into this lull there on Thursday where the low is to our north and the real cold front is hanging back to the west. And there's a new storm trying to form on the initial prefrontal trough east of Cape Cod that looks like it tries to bring some snow from Maine to Cape Cod now on Thursday night and Friday. And like clockwork, our Friday wind and chill is returning. There will be upslope snow. It's going to be first polar air and then Arctic air coming in here, but the upslope snow is just for areas like Mount Mansfield here up north to Jay, and maybe Sugarloaf gets into the action. Very windy. And then here comes a system racing across I-90, and it looks like it's going to skim just south of New England on Saturday, so that's been a moving target. Last week that one adjusted north. This week it adjusts south, and I'm going to pause it right now because as we're getting into this Saturday and Sunday, I want you to see where this weather is coming from. And here is the analysis from the Ocean Prediction Center. This is the analysis of the Pacific Ocean. Now remember, the world is round, it's not flat, so things on the left there are really around the corner on the other side of the globe to the west of the Aleutians, that storm there between Japan and Alaska. But then there's a closer one south of Alaska, and here's what they look like on the satellite imagery. You can see the two cyclones there, one to the west of British Columbia, south of Alaska, and the other one to the southwest of the Aleutians. That's literally the other side of the world, halfway around the world, I guess is what we would call it. And those are the two systems that are going to come at the east, come on the west coast. First one comes in. This is going to be that feet of snow in Utah. First one there on the right comes in on Friday and Saturday, and that crosses the nation. And Thursday and Friday, I'm sorry. And then the second one's going to come in on Friday and Saturday, and each one of those are going to break into pieces and rush across the nation. There's going to be some energy in the northern stream and some energy in the southern stream, and whether we phase the northern and southern stream makes a huge difference on how this is all going to play out. So let's go back to the GFS now and talk about this system that still has potential for a little snow along the south coast here on Saturday. That races out. Here comes the Arctic air, that 510 thickness coming in again for potential record cold here again next Monday morning, just like we had yesterday. And the system on Sunday, I'm sorry, slow down, back up a little bit, TK. Where'd that Sunday storm go? I'm going to rewind it and go back to the Saturday system skimming off to the south, and the Sunday system now, which 2 days ago or yesterday, it looked like it was going to come across North Carolina. Then the next run, it looked like it was going to come to Cape Cod. Well, now that system looks like it wants to go off of Georgia. I think that's way too far south, and it will adjust north, but probably not north all the way to New England, is my guess, looking at all the other different guidance. Okay, now back to where we were, focusing on the Northeast on Sunday night and Monday. After that system misses, we have cold air advection. The 510 line comes down here. We have another storm coming out of the Rockies and seemingly fading, and a front trying to lift back as a warm front here next Tuesday. We talked about this the last couple days, how it looked record warm coming at us later Tuesday into Wednesday. That has changed now. It looks like the cold is trying to press, at least here in the GFS, into southeastern Canada. And look at that boundary right over northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, central Maine, with little waves of energy and a little bit of rain or snow possible here next Wednesday into Thursday. Now that is a big change from what we had over the last couple of days, where I said warm air coming from Central America. Well, perhaps, but it's going to be cut off, if this is right, with us staying on the colder side of the front next Wednesday, Thursday, and then 240 hours is Friday morning on March 14th. And the front is right over New England. And look at that powerful storm right over the middle of the nation. What is that, like a 980? A huge trough with tons of snow out in the west at that time. Mostly warm in the east, except for right here in New England. That boundary has potential, I know we've been teased by this the last several Thursdays in a row, of being a little further south. It's always a Thursday and a Friday, isn't it? That's Friday the 14th of March right there. Wow. So I actually had my eyes closed for the last 60 seconds, visualizing all those maps, and I just opened my eyes, and look what I see. I see dendrites, I see snowflakes, and you can play with the camera, and you can always zoom in, and it always looks like it's snowing a little bit harder when you do this zoom. So it is official. It is day 64 in a row with snow somewhere in New England. And even though I'm talking about all this rain coming our way, it will be snowing in northern Maine tomorrow, and it will snow in tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow's Wednesday, and then so that'd be day 65. Thursday, we may start with some snow in northern Maine, and we may end with some snow before midnight up here in our mountains, so that would be day 66. And then Friday, it is going to be upslope snow, so that would be day 67. And it may snow at the south coast on Saturday, 68. So there's really, even though this warm storm is coming at us, there's no end in sight to the days in a row with snow somewhere in New England. But our days in a row without any rain at the summit are likely ending today. And that's where we went yesterday. I went to the summit. I made a bunch of new friends. So the weather forecast is over. Here's the end more. Anybody that made it this far, my friends from Philadelphia and from Jericho, Vermont, up there. I met Ellis. He was hiking up to the top of the nose for sunset. So many people up there yesterday. And Andre, sorry you didn't get me up there to the top of the peak yesterday or today. So I have not been up to the top of the chin. But the snowpack is going to be resilient, and it's very deep, so no matter how much rain we get, spring skiing is going to be outstanding, barring any kind of real warm disaster. So it's been a great ride, and now we're going to continue it. We'll talk to you again in 24 hours. Here's the and more from yesterday. 3 o'clock update. Even though the March sun is very high, this mountain faces north, so pretty dark up there, and I couldn't find a companion. I'm not going to go up to the top of the chin without a companion, and so not today. Maybe I'll go to the snow stake, and still only about 10 degrees. Look at the water running off because of the March sun. Ice dam season. I wonder if the sap even ran. It's maple sap sugaring season also in Vermont. 3:15. It's still facing finger freezing cold. I think it's 0 degrees up here. Top of the Forerunner. It's called a high-speed quad. And depending on the wind, sometimes it's really slow. If there's not too much wind, it's really fast. And today it's really fast. You can actually do laps up and down this thing in about 10 or 11 minutes. One of my motivations for going up here right now is the viewer comments. Thank you, Keith, for talking about how no way there's 8.5 feet of snow up there. I can see maybe if it blows in, and it does kind of blow in over the nose right there, definitely. And the snow stake is just beyond that corner there on the toll road, right in there. So it is in the trees, but yeah, it can fill in there for sure. But it's legit. I mean, it's been the same data, same spot now since 1954. There's J Peak. Andre, did you really do J Peak and Stowe today? Mount Mansfield. And so here's Mount Mansfield, and a little sign. You are leaving ski area boundary, not patrolled. Warning, you can die. Well, it's pretty easy if you just stick to the toll road. I think this is a state road. State park, I think. Looking over at Mount Washington, there's 6,288 feet over there. There's some good snow data over there too. I haven't checked the Hermit Lake Hut. I think they measure the snow depth there also. I'll have to check that out at the base of Tuckerman. Anyhow, this is no Tuckerman, but it is in the trees. Look, there's a branch kind of hanging down right over our snow stake. So that could actually shadow the stake a little bit. And you're right, Keith, it's not 8.5 feet. It's just a inch over 8 feet. So it looks like we've gone just below 100. We'll see if the data comes in around 97 or 98 inches today. And does it max out now? I'm trying to move. I don't know. You see, the climatological max is until the 3rd week of March. So we'll see how that changes. And then we can look over towards the nose, and you can see some tracks up there. So adventurers will ski just about anywhere around here. Oh, look at that cirrocumulus. Love cirrocumulus. That indicates a major weather system, sometimes 1,000 miles away. And it is a major weather system incoming. Now, if you stay on the toll road, you're not going to die, especially on a clear day. But if you go over the edge, that's a different story. There's Smuggler's Notch, like the Notch. And then what's that over there? I'm not sure what mountain that is. Near the Canadian border. I don't think it's Burke. We just saw Jay, which is right around the corner over there. Can't quite see Jay. And then there's the top of Mount Mansfield, behind the trees over there. Let's see if I can get a view. Like to hike up there before the season's done. Going up.
Hey
Hey.
man. You're from the news, right?
I'm TK,
Yeah.
the Jay Weatherman.
Nice to see you.
What's your name?
Ellis.
Ellis?
Sorry.
Where are you going?
I ski the Chin. Probably now gonna go up here and then ski the Bruce.
The Chin from here?
No, I just did the Chin.
Oh, you just did the Chin?
Yeah.
What route did you come down?
Hourglass.
Yeah, I know the Hourglass, but then I don't know whether to take a left or a right or how to get out there.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I think yesterday it was up maybe about a few more inches. Maybe it shrunk a little because they said 103 and it looks now like it's 97 to me.
Yeah.
But it's open to interpretation too.
Still a lot of snow.
So let's take that branch down. All right, have fun on the Bruce. Going to the Matterhorn?
Maybe.
It does. Going from the top down. It's so fun. Go out the door and you'll meet more and more friends. Nice to meet you, Ellis. Skinning. You heard of skinning? It's when you put your skins on and keep on going up, and that's what you guys are doing, huh?
First time.
So,
First time skinning.
you said you watch my YouTube channel?
Every day.
All right.
Pretty much every day.
Now
yeah.
you're going to be in it. What's your name? Where you from?
Evan, Philadelphia.
Evan, Philadelphia.
Adam, same place.
Adam, Philadelphia. You guys are going up to the top of Mount Mansfield.
I believe it.
You got a guide. I know, he doesn't want to be on.
Doing all the work.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just met another guy going up the top. So you get the sunset. It's a totally different view up there.
Yeah, beautiful day for it.
That's so cool. And so how's the snow? How's this year compared to other years?
Last year we were here at the same time. It wasn't like this. There wasn't even any really snow this time last year.
Right.
So way different.
First time we're getting the view too. We were up here last time, but it was all foggy.
Right. It's a rare sunny day around here this winter.
Yep.
And that's how you get this much snow.
Yeah.
I was telling people that story this morning about, over underneath that Forerunner, it was practically bare ground, and now you can practically touch your skis on it.
Yeah.
And Then last year it snowed on March 11th. We had this blizzard, and then it kept on snowing for like 3 weeks, and we were back in action.
I think we were talking about it. And
Yeah.
when we got home to Philly, we were like, oh, look.
Yeah, right.
It's getting the goods now.
Right. So nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, nice
Thanks.
to meet you.
Out
Thank
the door, weather, and more. And I see you got the Ski of the East label going on up there.
There.
Nice.
Thanks.
I'm on a team. I'm on that team too, kind of. Emeritus. All right, have fun. Beautiful evening. Wow. Great to meet you. 5 o'clock. Conclude this day. Not much melting. Matter of fact, that last run, making all those new friends, I don't think it got much above 0 degrees. And as for seeing the moon and Venus, these warm air advection clouds are coming in quick. It's still the really cold side of the front. T-Rex. Want to go to the Whistle Pig? The Whistle Pig. And the skating rink. Oh, I can't play this video sound because I'll get a copyright because of what's playing on the radio. All right, I think I'm far enough away from the music to be able to play the rest of this out. T-Rex, look at him go up the hill. Can't keep up with you, Rex. So yeah, time lapse from, I think, Dennis, because the Weymouth, the flag is tangled and I'm embarrassed to show it. Doug, can you fix that for me? There's a ladder on the deck and a pole up there. Sure, no problem. And look at that view over the top of Mount Mansfield with the different sky waves, both parallel and perpendicular to the flow of the incoming warm air. Warm air advection. No sign of it on that last run though, because it was freezing. My toes were freezing coming down nosedive at 4:15. Felt like it was still about 0 degrees. I can hear the sparrows here. Not done with the inversion. Oh boy, I can still hear the music. Hopefully that doesn't get me a copyright. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate the input. Martin said it even snowed on Nantucket a little bit. And Bruce monitoring the flooding along with me. And everyone talking about how the GFS came with that storm, lifting further north than the Monday morning output. I think we hinted that that might happen, didn't we? Is it waffled again? Groups of 4, T-Rex, groups of 4. You should just take care of business right there outside the Spruce Lodge. Look at those sky waves. Wow. Gorgeous. We got some weather incoming. T-Rex, where you going? All right, see you later. Yeah, T-Rex. It's still freezing out, but things are about to change. Warm air advection. Turns out we do have a moon. There it is. All right. And that would be, I think, Jupiter up there. I know the planets all aligned. Sorry I wasn't more up to date on all of that.